Hey there Pokemon fans, Fodger101 here with the channel's first top 10 list, and this top list was going to be my top 10 favourite Pokemon. So before we get started on this list, a couple of things. This is based purely on my own personal opinion. Obviously everyone's going to have their different favourite Pokemon, and these just happen to be mine. If you'd like to see some more top 10s on the channel though, please leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see, and we'll look at trying to do this as a monthly feature if possible. So without wasting any more time, we're going to jump straight into the list for you. So before we get into the top 10, we're just going to run through some quick honourable mentions. So these are Pokemon that I do really like, but just didn't quite make the actual list itself. So our first honourable mention is going to go to Drapion. So Drapion was the first shiny that I caught in game on Pokemon X and Y. Caught it as a Scroop in a group, and only caught it was a different colour, only to be told later on that it was actually a shiny, and what the odds of catching one of those were, which is quite high. I've used it on Battle Spot rank since you've probably seen some of the matches on the channel, and the Sniper wide lens combo with some high crit moves can really wreck lives on Battle Spot, and puts in some good work for us. And next time I mention is going to go to Milotic, just one of the absolute most beautiful Pokemon in the game as far as my personal opinion goes. Absolutely beautifully designed and really good competitive. He's either a physical or a special war. Next time I mention we're going to go to Arcanine, and again fairly new to using an Arcanine. But a really well designed Pokemon, a nice cross between a tiger and a dog, looks absolutely gorgeous. It was available in Gen 1, although I never caught one in Gen 1, I've only been using one recently. But a really adaptable Pokemon as well, can be used either as a physical attacker or used as a war or a support, so a really good one competitive to use as well. And next honourable mention is going to go to Manectric. So Manectric's Pokemon I've used on Ranked Battle now for a while. It was part of my Aurus playthrough as my team on that, and did a really good job in the story. And with the ability Lightning Rock comes in really clutch on Battle Spot if you're never going to go for an electric type attack. It enables you to get a nice power boost and stat boost, so a really good one on the playthrough, really well designed. And I've got a little bit of thing for dogs as well. So next one on our list is going to be Pangaroo. So Pokemon's own Kung Fu Panda here. I had him as part of my X and Y playthrough. It was one of the first ones that I saw for X and Y that I absolutely loved the design of. And while competitively it's not great, he has some new toys to play with and some new moves on Aurus, which makes him slightly better, but he's got these speed stats not great. However, absolutely brilliant design Pokemon. Love the fact that he's chewing on a little bit of twig. Makes him look pretty badass, to be fair. Next one I mentioned is going to go to Marill, or Mega Marill. So Marill's on this list because with her new Mega she became pretty competitive. Some really good typing as Fairy Steel, and despite her poor speed can really put in some work on Battle Spot, and is quite a top tier threat as she hits like a truck. Next one is going to be Rapidash. So another Gen 1 Pokemon, just a beautifully designed Pokemon with the white horse with the flames coming out of its mane. It looks absolutely beautiful, and its shiny form, which is one I've just caught, is absolutely gorgeous, so that one had to go on the honourable mentions list. Also on there is Rattata. So Rattata's on there for a couple of reasons. It's the first wild Pokemon that I think pretty much most of us caught for those of us that play Gen 1, so in that regard it will always have a bit of a special place in our heart for it. Also, there's the whole youngster Joey thing with his Rattata being in the top percentage. You can't help but quite love this little guy as a result. I've actually got a level 100 one called I Love Shorts as little youngster Joey, and its most famous interaction was he actually 1v1'd Garchomp and won. So really cute little guy, and for nostalgia reasons he makes the honourable mentions list. Next on there is Farfetch'd. So a bit of a strange mon, but I quite like the fact he's got a mono brow and walks around carrying a leek, so it's a little bit odd, but ducks are cool, and Farfetch'd is no exception to that. He's given to the one I've currently got. He was given to me on Pokemon X. I think pretty much everybody gets it as a gift from one guy in the Pokemon Center called Quacklin. So I trained it up just for a bit of a laugh, gave him some HMs and some TMs as we went round. He's now part of what I call my capture team along with my Rattata. So they face down most of the legendaries because he carries full swipe. He's also got Thief, so it comes handy when I'm farming stuff for love discs. So he gets quite a bit of use. And while competitively he's not the best, he's quite a cool looking one, and again, can't help but quite love him for that matter. So now we'll crack on with the top 10. So at number 10 we have the king of the dinosaurs himself, Tyrantrum. So how can you not love this design if you're a guy around my age, or a girl around my age for that matter? If you grew up like me absolutely loving dinosaurs, Armor Ranger in Transformers. Grimlock was always such a cool Transformer to have. Dinosaurs cool, and this guy is no exception. So not only is he based on the T-Rex, he was one of the first designs I saw for Pokémon X, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to have one of those. He's absolutely amazing. Even to the fact that he's even got a crane on his head to prove that he's the king. I used him on my X and Y playthrough. A really good fun one, really puts in the work on the story mode. And while at times his typing lets him down a little bit on Battle Spot with the ×4 ice weakness and fairy weaknesses, it's still one of the best looking mons in the game in my opinion, and definitely my favourite fossil type Pokemon. So on to number 9. So at number 9 we are going to have Pikachu. So might be a slight surprise to some on this list. It was a bit of a surprise entry to myself when I was putting the list together. Actually, I hadn't actually thought of putting Pikachu on there. However, you can't deny the amount of work this guy's done for making Pokemon as popular as it is today, and particularly for getting kids on board in playing the games as well. With Pikachu, most kids may not play the games, but they know who Pikachu is and do love the little character because he's stupidly cute. He's lost a bit of timber since we first met him nearly 20 years ago. But in terms of being able to introduce people to the game, and particularly young kids, and getting them involved in Pokemon, you can't deny the good he does for the brand itself. And he's still a pretty cool mon. I mean, yeah, cosplay Pikachu in Aurus, that was quite good fun to play around with. I've got a level 100 Pikachu, which I actually went through X and Y with, just because it was Pikachu. And he's won with me a few matches on Battle Spot as well, with just a completely bonkers moveset, which usually comes in a little bit unexpected. So we'll jump straight into the next matchup for you. So at number 8 we have Flygon. So Flygon is one of those mons. It's a really cool mon. I really like my dragons. I mean, it's the second dragon on the list already, and we're only at number 8. They are by far my favourite types. Flygon is going to be on here. I used him through my Aurus playthrough, and he did a really good job through Aurus. Everyone keeps saying he needs a Mega Evolution, but to be brutally honest, I'm not so sure. Choice Banded or Choice Scarfed, he can really put in the work on Battle Spot. And he's quite a cool little looking mon as well. He's got his little World War II fighter pilot goggles on. He's quite cool, so yeah, he had to make this list. At number 7 we have Mew. So Mew is the only actual legendary on this list, spoiler alert. Purely for nostalgia reasons. For those of us who grew up with Gen 1, Mew was always a little bit of a mystery. No one was quite sure how to get him when you first found out about him. He gets hinted at a lot in the game, but you never actually encounter him unless you get him as a gift later on through distribution, which I never did. When I went to complete my full decks, Mew was the one legendary. It was on my absolute must-have list, and when I finally managed to get one, could not have been more pleased. It's a really cool design. It's stupidly cute. But yeah, absolutely love this little mon. And again, massively adaptable for those that you follow the UCL. Shady Penguin's currently running one on there. And every time you see it, he's using it in a different way or in a different role. So competitively, really cool. You never know, you can learn every move. No one really knows what's going to come out with it. But yeah, a really cool little mon, and definitely makes my top 10. And at number 6 we have Ninetales. So Ninetales, again, another dog or fox if you like Pokemon. Both Vulpix and Ninetales are absolutely beautifully designed mons. Competitively with Drought, Ninetales really puts in some of the work, and it's a shiny form as well with silver with the red eyes, looks absolutely beautiful. But just overall a gorgeous looking Pokemon, and definitely as a result makes the top 6. So at number 5 we have Breloom. So Breloom, I know what you're thinking. Breloom does look like a Toad and Yoshi had a love child, and Breloom was it. However, for those of you who underestimate this little guy, it's an absolutely fatal mistake. This thing can run a couple of different sets, most notably either Expert Belt, Mach Punch as a physical attacker, or as a staller with Substitute Poison Heal, and can really put in the work. Spore will get you every single time. It can run Focus Sash. Absolutely lethal. Whatever you do, do not underestimate the Loom on Battle Spot, guys. You will live to regret it. I run one myself. It puts in the absolute finest whenever I use it on Battle Spot. It one-shots a Primal Kyogre, which is absolutely hilarious every time you manage to pull that one out of the bag. because for guys who leave Primal Koga and you just really don't expect it. But absolutely love this little guy, even though he does look like Toad and Yoshi got together. At number 4 we have Feraligatr. So again, purely for nostalgia reasons, Feraligatr makes this list. One, the design is absolutely gorgeous. It looks like some big back crocodile that you wouldn't want to mess with. But the fact that Totodile is so stupidly cute with a huge grin on his face absolutely makes it even funnier that it evolves into this giant hulking beast of a thing. He was my starter when I went through Johto back on the old Silver days. When I replayed Soul Silver again, had to pick Feraligatr. Could not have any other Pokemon as my starter on that game. Absolutely love him. Obviously, Dragon Dance, Sheer Force, and Aqua Jet set is an absolute boss on Battle Spot as well, and can wreck lives if you can get a successful Dragon Dance off and set up. But no, a top Pokemon and a great design, and definitely someone out in my top 5 at number 4. So at number 3 we have Marowak. So Marowak makes this list for a couple of reasons. One, it kind of looks like a dinosaur, which I kind of like a lot. We already mentioned, obviously, Tyrantrum's on this list. And we've seen a couple of others that are not un-dinosaur-like in how they look. But the backstory to Marowak and Cubone, its whole evolution line is heartbreaking, with its having the skull of its dead mother on his head. So it's never aparted from it. Something about that, and the fact this little guy's a little orphan and lost in the wilderness, makes it that extra little bit special when you find one while playing the game and have to take it in on your party. Use them on Battle Spot, and Fit Club EQs are nothing to underestimate. You get this little guy on a trick team, he will put in the absolute finest of work for you. A really good little Mon. Got some decent bulk on there as well, but say Fit Club, Max Attack will absolutely wreck shop. And at number 2 we have Greninja. So Greninja's on this list. He's a Gen 6 Pokemon, so he's one of the fairly newer ones out there. One of the reasons he made this list was that final design. So when I decided I was going to get back into Pokemon and pick up X and Y, we're looking at the starters and saw Froakie. So Froakie, I looked at him and went, it doesn't look great. It's just a blue frog. And Frogadier, or Frogadier, however you want to pronounce it, didn't do much for me either. But then I saw the final evolution of this guy, and he's a ninja frog, so what's not to love? And his tongue is his scarf. Eat your heart out, Solid Snake. This is how you do it. So this guy is an absolute beast on Battle Spot. Hidden ability Protein is a monster. It gives you 4 stabs, and you can change type, and you're fast enough that you can change type to avoid getting no-code by weakness, unless they predict what you're going to change into. Mine doesn't run Protein, mine's only Torrent, but even so, max special attack, max speed and focus sash absolutely puts in some great work on Battle Spot. A really good Mon, a beautifully designed, probably one of the better designed starters that we've seen so far. And obviously we've now got the new Ashes Greninja, which we will get a bit more information on hopefully in Pokemon Z. But he was always going to come in at my number 2. I just absolutely love the design on this guy. And had some great fun playing through Battle Spot and story modes with him in the past as well. And finally, at number 1, we have... So every trainer is that one Pokemon, and that means the world to them. So I nearly forgot to put that in. So I put this in there just because this really does sum up what this top 10 was all about. I think everyone who plays the game has that one Pokemon that just stands out for them. It's their go-to guy, the one they can always rely on through either going through a story or through Battle Spot. And so that's why at number 1, was forever going to be any doubt who it was going to be, Charizard. So we've got Mega Charizard X up on here because we decided to include his Mega Evolution because that's what I typically use more than anything else. So Mega Charizard X and Charizard and the Charmander line in evolution line as well. By far my favourites in the Pokemon series. Charmander was my first Pokemon, and you never get your first, through Red. When I found out you could pick up a Charmander partway through the game on Pokemon X, that was the final decision really in order for me to pick the game up, was that I could have a Charmander again and raise a Charizard and have that through the main storyline. Took him since on Battle Spot. Charizard X is an absolute monster. There's numerous sets it can run. Obviously we get Charizard Y evolution as well, which you see a lot more common of because of the drought ability. But X just looks so much cooler with the black and the blue flames. And I just prefer this set. It usually comes out the blue. People predict to Charizard Y, they get an X, and before they know it, you're set up and sweeping. This guy puts in some massive serious work, and as a result will always be my favourite Pokemon. For those of you who haven't seen any of the battles with him, please go and check out some of those rank matches. There's matches in there this guy has pretty much managed to pull a win out of the bag when we really shouldn't have won the match, and that's why he's my favourite Pokemon. Okay guys, so that's it for our first Pokemon top 10. If you'd like to see some more, please leave a comment section down below or hit that like button and leave any suggestions for what you'd like to see. And if I don't see you around, I will see you on Battlespot. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.